What's up, man? How you guys doing? I'm gonna be eating some chips here. Oh, my bad. Still, live view right there of a volcano going off in Iceland right there, or still pretty active. And you see the lava actually spewing up over there, or magma as you would call it. I don't know, Bryson. Well, the thing about me is that when I do go live, I like to prepare for this. I mean, I'll figure it out. Keep my eye on Iceland. A lot of NATO summits. The NATO summit is, of course, today. I think it's over or ongoing. Unsure. But hey there, man. How you doing? Shooting. Of course, we're going to be looking at ADSB because we're going to be looking at a lot of planes up over Lithuania. Now, people have been talking about the Kurt Strait Bridge. It's another thing. Nothing really has happened yet, but has been a major concern. We will keep an eye on it. So we have a Gulfstream 5 and an Airbus doing circles over Lithuania, and an E3 heading to Lithuania probably, and a Polish plane over Poland. Polish plane over Poland. Wow, you know. There are. My what? My windows? Nah. It's probably not gonna happen, man. Too expensive. Doesn't even fucking matter. I don't care. Fucking expensive. I'd rather have people look at that. Know that I'm cheap. Know that I'm cheap as fuck. Get out the way, man. No, but Iceland right here, you can actually see the active. This is like live, of course, the best live you get. You can see the lava actually spewing up over here, magma. We got a P8 over UK. Alright. So I'm gonna give you the update on planes and around the world. Of course, we're seeing an E3, which looks to be heading towards Lithuania. We have what looks like to be a very special plane that actually looks. This actually looks like a spy plane. This actually looks like a spy plane, if I'm not mistaken. What's it from? It's from Italy. It's an Italian plane right there. Oh, and the Q4 right there. Hold on, is that Forte? No, it's not Forte. But we got a Q4 drone right here. So, obviously, this is pretty, it's expected, you know. I mean, we do have the NATO summit. Lots of head of states in one country. So, keeping an eye on it. Of course. Like always. How you guys doing? There was a statement from Belarus earlier stating that there were Belarusians. No, sorry. The Belarusian guards, of course, the military, is waiting for for Wagner to actually enter the country. So apparently what they're saying is that Wagner's not yet in the country. You're dead inside? Okay. So they're saying that Wagner, they're awaiting Wagner, is what they're saying. So those convoys, of course, was moving through Russia. Apparently they're still going to Belarus. The news said that they were awaiting Wagner. So, you know, doesn't appear that there's actually Wagner yet, but the Belarusian has said that they are awaiting Wagner. Which is funny because some days ago they also stated that Wagner was in the country, so now they're waiting for Wagner, right? They're waiting for Wagner. Meanwhile, they also stated that Wagner was in Belarus, so bit of a weird situation. Oh, air raids in, I hear air raids in the back right now, here in Ukraine. Faint, but I do hear them. Don't know if you can hear that. I am still alive. We all still alive. Yeah, I mean, pretty much confirmed that what we saw yesterday with the NATO planes thing was flight crew being an idiot, you know. But it happens. It happens. Can't always blame them. Can't always be perfect. See what flight trader actually says. Now we got the Magma 10, which is a drone that's up over Lithuania. It's been doing circles pretty much all day. Keeping an eye on everything, of course. Like mostly, of course, Belarus. So we got NATO 13, which is an E3 Century. This is going to Lithuania at the moment. So yeah, we keep an eye on that. That's probably just that. We had, I think, NATO 11 and NATO 12 up over yesterday. So they've probably been switching that out during the day. And those are from Luxembourg. So yeah, Luxembourgian, look at Luxembourgian plane right there. Of course, Luxembourg also being in the country, being in NATO. But of course, oh, we also have a military plane from France. Some training planes, nothing too serious. That NATO summit, is it still going on? Yeah, I think it is. Could be over by now. I don't know if it was a whole day kind of thing, but yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. Of course, the talks of Sweden and Ukraine and all that. This time, goodbye. Explosions here in Kramatorsk, Donetsk. So, relatively quiet. Of course, we did not expect Belarus to be doing. Sorry. We didn't expect Belarus to be doing anything stupid tonight. It's over, okay. Well then. We're still fine. We're still okay, guys. We're still okay. It's over. Is that soldiers right there? Look at that. Oh, no. That looks like armed people, doesn't it? Got some kind of vest on. That's in Kiev. Oh, the camera just rose. For today. Of course, today also ended about 6 minutes in Ukraine, so. That looks like people with vests on right there. That's in Kiev. Look at that. The camera froze as well. It's I don't know if it's offline, but it froze. Well, that's interesting. Unsure if I'm still hearing some news. It's not news, sorry. Air raids in the back there. Of course, it's still a very active front line at the moment with the Ukrainian counter-offensive. Sorry. We're seeing Ukrainian advances near Bakhmut. Actually, kind of a big chunk of land right there they took today. Seems to be the only advances at the moment, but of course, as long as Ukraine is advancing in the right direction, we're happy. Yeah, I mean, it's not that I'm saying it's a boring sort of situation right now, but it certainly is a hey there, Ocean. It certainly is a sort of a quiet, almost, I would say almost too quiet. Oh, sound like some kind of thump or shells going on there in the background. Look at that, he just zoomed in on that. But this is the active volcano at the moment. Very active, actually. It's spewing up magma right there. Now, in other news, what's a report earlier about salt levels, of course, what was it? Being lowered in the, it's left some, scientists to be quite baffled at the situation. Yeah, I saw that. It said reconnecting when I came back. So, but I was asleep then, so couldn't do much about it. Sorry about that. Must have lost connection or something. Some reports. I was trying to see. Shit! I saw it. Had a report on it, and now I lost it. It's gotta be. Oh, there it is. It says here that the South Ocean ice has it's not salt levels. Sorry, it was ice levels. I'm sorry, I read it wrong. Has hit rock bottom. It's winter on Antarctic, and and I'm translating this direct from Danish, so it's So the ice should spread quick, but it's not happening, and many scientists at the moment are quite baffled at that site because it shouldn't happen. We're missing about 2.5 million acres, and that's acres. Sorry, how would you say that? Square kilometers. I think what is the right word for it? Square kilometers. 2.5 million square kilometers of ice. And it can't get the heating of the south globe, south half globe, which is direct science, so south half globe, to accelerate. They're talking about the factors of about 2015. This is not from like any site. This is from the biggest news network in Denmark. You know, biggest news network in Denmark. That's my source right now. So this is not some random website. What it's saying is there's an E6 over California, and we're also going to keep an eye on NATO 13. NATO 13 now entering Lithuanian airspace very soon here. The E3 right here, as you can see. NATO 13 heading into... We also have a drone here. Magma 10. But it's a serious situation at the moment. Also says that the climate scientists are worried, but as direct as I can translate this, expecting or at least at the moment, how would you say that? Sort of, they're waiting to see what happens, and the salt levels, these ice levels of the drop, you know. This also says that it can get more than, and this of course has the effects of what at least I'm going to try and see, and the effects of it at the moment could be that Russia threatens to use cling bomber. Sorry, it's translation from English to Danish sometimes hard. They're threatening to use something, which of course they've done before. Threatening to use something, really it hasn't. But it's a serious situation. It's something we've been talking about before. You see the graph of it. 2023, the ice level simply dropped to a level that we haven't seen before, which is a serious sort of situation at the moment. So, I mean, the costs of it, as at least of what we're talking about, ice reflects about 90% of the the sun's rays, or sun's macro UV rays. With less ice, the heating of not only our planet would go exponentially quicker, which is why they're talking about with less ice, our planet would heat up faster. So it's a real situation, because that would mean in shifts in our climate could really cause climate change. Now, when they're talking about climate change, a lot of people misinterpret what climate change means. We're talking about a climate change at the moment. If this continues to happen and it accelerates at this level, which it has this year, we're seeing many things happen. Now, funnily enough, as soon as this happened, this is a long time since we've seen an explosion in Iceland, right? I mean, when is last time? Of course. Oh, okay. Well, I'm not saying that the volcano has anything to do with the grand solar minimum. Not too knowledgeable about what they mean about that. I'm not really talking about grand solar minimum. You see, people keep saying to me, it's not climate change, and people miss concern about what climate change means. If you burn a hole in the ozone layer, the Earth is going to heat up and you're going to die. If you lose ice at a rapid rate, the Earth is going to heat up, and the sea levels may as well rise as much as anything else. And that effect would cause what is literally a climate change in many areas, as we've seen before. Now, we all know what happens if ice melts. You know, more fresh water in the ocean. But not only fire. Well, it doesn't appear to be. I'll be honest with you, Ocean. We've seen these things happening in Zaporizhia. I was talking about it yesterday. Does it look like a fire? But I think some kind of mining. I don't know if it's a mining operation or something is going on back here. It does look like smoke. But the funny thing about Zaporizhia right here is that these lights were here. They're here all the time. Go back just a tiny bit, right? And you see something else over there, which I looked at some times ago, and I thought that's weird. It looks like a plume of fire, but we shouldn't think that it's some kind of lighting, but it's certainly a weird thing. I have no idea what it is. Can't locate this camera either, so you know. But you know, when you're thinking about the climate change in its total turn, if we lose our ice, the factor that is that we're gonna have a climate change. I mean, Greenland and the whole of the north is gonna see a climate change, which would mean that they would see a heating of our oceans, and not only our oceans but our planet. And if the oceans recede and get more fresh water into the ocean, a lot of fish that fish that live in the ocean can't live in fresh water. A lot of minerals that they used to live on that simply isn't in fresh water. You know, it's not just salt. Salt water is not just salt. It has a lot of minerals. The more minerals you see in an ocean area, the sparkling with protein and minerals, right? Or at least what they call fish protein, right? The more living situation you're gonna see. But if we have fresh water, ice is fresh water. It's not salt water. If we see that smelt into the oceans, it would mean that a big portion of the salt water in the habitable areas around not only Greenland, which we have lots of saltwater creatures that live around these areas. These fresh water could be carried along with the streams that we have. Really, these guys wearing reflective vests? What the hell's going on right there? Look at that. Are you guys radiated or something? They wearing reflective vests? Is that to throw off the camera? Maybe maybe there were. I think it might be firemen actually, or no, it's an ambulance. Look at that. Yeah, they're wearing reflective vests, but it's an ambulance. Look at that. Or a fire truck or something. It looks like an ambulance. Something's definitely going on here. Maybe it's some kind of station or something. Doesn't look like the usual camera either. But I was saying, you know, if we have a climate change, which is literally what climate change. Climate change isn't if you blow a hole in the ozone layer. People say, oh, we're gonna have climate change. No, if you blow a hole in the ozone layer, you're gonna fucking die. That's what that would be. That would be dying. Having a climate change would mean having a change in the weather, not only but the temperature and the fluctuation of rivers and other things. And the more ocean, the more water gets spewed out from the Greenland and all of that. We have all those rivers that are running up between the Gulf River, for example, that brings warm water towards Europe and stuff like that. Could have a negative effect. Not only could it get hotter up on the North Pole, it could get colder in Europe. If we don't get that fresh water, that warm water compared next to Europe, right? Or at least keep our water somewhat warm, we're gonna have a negative effect. That's what they're talking about. If we're seeing the continuation of it, that's what they're saying. You know, we're gonna see a warming and a colding of sorts. It's going to sort of change the way that we look at the Earth. The Earth now being cold on top would be warm on top, and livable areas where most humans live would be cold because they would change. Because the waterways would change. Not every place. Africa would probably stay the same. Every place, but the less sunlight reflected by the ice layers, the more it's going to heat up. So the rapid decline of this ice, which we're seeing, would mean a very serious consequence towards our planet. You know, I hope it makes sense what I'm explaining. I'll be honest. You know, not being the this is lightning, by the way. If anybody's wondering, this is lightning going on here. I hope so. I hope it's lightning. Very frequent, but having that happen would be a catastrophe, unlike anything else. So I don't really care about the whole grand solar minimum. I mean, the grand solar minimum is not sure about what they're talking about. That if it's some kind of effect that Sumer region just turned on, didn't it? Yeah, 2 minutes ago. But if that's some kind of effect, they're talking about the sun spewing some kind of effects on us, right? But that's true. I mean, grand solar minimum would be the equivalent of changing the planet's temperatures. And the rapid decline that we see today in 2023 not only will result, and if this continues, which it has never been this low before, I want to point this out. You know, scientists are very, as they say, worried in the sense, but scientists will never say that they're worried. And they will never give you 100%, you know, and they don't really consider this. But if you ask people about what is going to happen, they will tell you that serious consequences come along with these, with the heating of our planet, the negative effect, if they call it. And I want to point out to you guys that they keep talking about UFOs and all that, and they keep talking about the Great Filter. If the Great Filter is global warming or climate change, as they're talking about, climate change might be the defining factor of whether upon we are going to survive on this planet. I think what we're talking about, the industrial age, always brings along something. And if the alien races didn't make it past, why didn't they make it past the Great Filter? Maybe they got so far in the technology that they had the negative effect happen, and all the livable areas turned unlivable. Yeah, you know, but at the moment it's a slower process. I don't know if you guys have seen the movie The Day Before Tomorrow, I think it's called. It's about this situation in particular. We're talking about the ice caps moving. Literally the whole of what before was Greenland, right? Yes, this is thunder. Thank you there, Ocean. But if you see that movie and you watch to the end, and you then look at how the planet looks like, the areas that before was extremely hot, would be extremely cold. South America has areas down when you go towards, go further down towards our, South America, which is a very, very hot country at the time. Not only Africa, it's a very, very hot country at times. Of course, what we're seeing is that if a movie like Day Before Tomorrow is to predict the future, America wouldn't be heading, Mexicans wouldn't be heading into America anymore. The Americans will be heading into Mexico. Why? Because Mexico, and further down, you have to get every further down. You had to get to the middle of the South America to survive that, because many parts of that place would be very, very cold. But there's a shift in that, the whole shift would happen. Literally, what we're talking about is that the whole of America and Greenland would literally switch places, meaning that the whole half of America and down towards Mexico would become snowland, and Greenland would become, well, not the most hot place, but it will become hotter. It's switching places. The planet will be switching places. So I don't really give a fuck about people talking about this whole grand solar minimum. This is a serious problem. If we see a decline in our oceans levels, our ice levels, it's a serious fucking situation. By the way, I think I hear some air raids in the back here. We got 2 areas turned on. I don't want to scare you guys on anything, right? But the streams that we have running up through, I mean, what I'm talking about is, for example, when you look at the example of this right here, you have the Gulf Stream, which is a Norfolk. This you got the cold area right here. There's a reason why these areas are cold, right? But if you switch upon this and make it so that this gets hot, right? And you got Greenland up here, this becomes hot and this becomes cold. This becomes cold. Now the areas around here will be completely iced in because they would have this extremely cold. Of course, this counterweights it with the Gulf Stream running through it. That's why we're seeing this whole area is up here is going to be, this is deep water, freezing ocean, right? And this area right here is the cold. This is a Gulf Stream. This is coming down from Africa. This is coming down from the equator, as you would call it, right? The hot areas, and that one right there. Oh yeah, definitely hearing air raids in the back here. I'm gonna show you that. But you look at this, right? And this is a cold area right here, and this is the hot area. If we are losing ice, it would push this in a direction that would mean that this deep ocean would be coming down here to America and would be the dominant force. And this one would be pushed so far out that it would then become running around Greenland and North America, Canada, and it would then start warming these places up and colding these places. We're switching places. It's a very serious fucking problem, So that's my understanding of what's going on at the moment. So it's a very literal situation. So, and this is not me talking about it. You go watch a YouTube video on it. I'm not sure if that's how exactly they're going to be moving, but the Gulf Stream runs all the way up to Siberia, right? And all those places right there would become, Siberia would probably become a place where the Russians live. Now where Moscow is, it will become very cold. Colder than it already is. You can air raids here in the back here. Lots of places just turned red. Right there, which is only this region it turned red in, so that's something. I have to get this browser open real quick, I'm sorry. You know, I don't expect you guys to understand what I just said, but just know that if the ice caps and the ice from Antarctica and Greenland keeps melting, and we keep losing them, because we're already seeing the shift of these streams, meaning that the water, the ice that was here, this Gulf Stream has moved, right? We're already seeing it. It loops around here, which is why many places of England sometimes are quite cold, but it does loop around here and makes it sort of fluctuate, right? Where if it keeps getting pushed, it's gonna sort of loop around Iceland, making Iceland, you know, a very, very hot place. I mean, Iceland is a very hot place at the moment. At least this area is, but what I'm trying to say to you guys is that it's a very serious fucking problem. Now, I'm not saying anything is gonna happen, but if it keeps declining, I mean, it looks like smoke. Look at that. It looks like smoke. What is it? Is it a coal plant? Is it... I mean, look at that. Is it light? But how does light produce... How is it that light is producing smoke? I mean, what the fuck is that even? Why is it there? I mean, what is it? We've seen it so many days. I wonder what it is, you know? I wonder what it is. We have Doomsday playing up, Joe. We got NATO 13 in Lithuania, as I said before, doing circles around our capital, actually. Wait. Yes? I'm not sure which one is the capital. Is that the capital? Oh my god, I don't. It doesn't really matter. Can't pronounce that. They're doing circles around Kausnas. Do you have a Doomsday playing up? Is that up now? What the hell is ADSB? There it is. Oh, these guys keep rocking in front of camera. Come on, guys, come on. You know? Get out the way. God damn it. We certainly have what appear to be a spy plane, actually. It looks like a spy plane. Feels like a spy plane. Looks like a spy plane. We got a P8 over there. I said that earlier. P8 over the UK or over the in the UK the area. Okay. Coal. Oh, what do you say? Coal plants in Ukraine. We got one in Zaporizhzhia terminal power plant. Zaporizhzhia terminal power plant, coal and natural gas in Huda. Right there. Could be that one. Let's look up at the situation. Look up that area right there. See if that was something. So it's well, that's in Zaporizhzhia. Well, that can't be true. Okay, so it's near Zaporizhzhia. Well, if it's near the thermal power plant, it's near ZNPP. So if is it a thermal that nuclear coal power plant? It can't be a coal. It's a thermal power plant. Coal and natural gas. Is that the same area as in 7PP? That just could mean that we're looking at 7PP. You know, 7PP would be here, somewhat at least. Am I wrong? Because thermal power plant. Look at that thermal power plant. It has to be that one, right? Look where that is. This is Zaporizhzhia thermal power plant. Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. Apparently closed. This one's open 24/7. That one's open 24/7, so that means this one is open 24/7. Right? And that's there, and that's Zaporizhzhia. That's the nuclear power plant right there, and that's the thermal power plant. You think if that's what we're seeing, right? Zaporizhzhia would either be, well, over here or over there. Somewhere, at least, somewhere very close to that, at least. Maybe over here. This could be the city. This could actually, no lie right here. This could be in, well, that's not in Zaporizhzhia, so that wouldn't be true. You saw one in Donetsk? Well, I can't really use one in Donetsk. Can't really use one in Donetsk, but yeah. It could be that one. I mean, what else would this be? It's constant lighting. It's burning something of it. It looks like some kind of natural gas going on in the background there. Some kind of burnings going on. So, I mean, are they burning coal and then throwing it into the air? That would be very unhealthy. I mean, this is the amount of coal they're burning and throwing it into air. I gotta have it to work with them because that's not healthy right there. You know, that doesn't look very healthy. Germany to present 770 million package for Ukraine, including new Patriot systems. Obviously, Germany will present a new support package for Ukraine. Damn. See that headline up there? It's the 12th. They announced that on, what, the 11th or something like that. Worth 770 million. That's cheap. Come on, Germany. Come on. Send some more money. Come on, goddammit. At least 1 billion. Why 70? You went 770 million. Why not a billion? Come on. I mean, seriously. Okay, they presented it today, or for you guys, or yesterday. It's 12th of July for me. Well, not for me actually. Oh, look at that! You see that? That's, you know, sometimes this happened right there, and then I'm like, somebody's flashing a light at you, and somebody came in here and said it's a car. You know, I don't know what car you have that shines one light and is extremely big. But if that's your car, I want to see it, you know? That just outshine. It could be like a spotlight or something. I don't know. We've seen it before. It happens sometimes. I mean, we do have, I think, what is the city right here? So, some kind of Ford? Oh, well. Ford F-50. Right back there. Something's... That was weird. They do that sometimes. It's weird. Honestly. This is some kind of area right here where they drive ambulance through. And people are standing there. Wow, that's a woman. But some kind of area where they drive ambulance through over there. It's good to know. Yeah. It's actually getting pretty intense there. Or, I don't know if it's getting more intense, but it's getting pretty intense. Look at that. Spewing out at all over. All over the goddamn place, my friends. All over the goddamn place. Oh, air raids on Ukraine. I mean, we were talking about the ice before, right? I was talking about a lot of the change, but of course we would also see massive flooding. So, you know, but that's something else. And also, it's the Arctic we're talking about. Sort of the biggest place in the world where we have our goddamn our ice, you know. Volcano here in Iceland, sweet, and we're hearing air raids in Ukraine, NATO summit, Germany presenting a big package, saw that right there, happened at the NATO summit. Otherwise, we got thunderstorm in Odessa, or somewhere along that, and yeah, that's pretty much it. A lot of stuff going on the front line. I could show you that. We got pushes from Ukraine. We got still got some planes, NATO planes, over Lithuania due to the summit. So stuff's happening. We have the biggest ice melting eclipse, I would call it. Well, eclipse or something. Event happening in the whole of 2023. A lot of ice smell it. So. Kicked in the shin by a goat this morning. That's gotta hurt. That's gotta hurt. I don't know. That's probably gotta hurt. So yeah, it does. It does sound a little bit busy. We have multiple. I've heard some shots, at least. But we've had multiple times now where the air raids are turning on, but keeping an eye on it all. If you guys were wondering if what I said before about the ice and how this could be a catastrophe, read this right here. Look at that. When warning temperatures gradually melt ice over time, fewer bright surfaces are available to reflect sunlight, which I was talking about. The less ice, the more reflection we have, and the less, 90% of what happened was the sun's reflection is reflected off the ice. But if we have less ice, there's less reflected, and that's going to get absorbed. More solar energy is absorbed at the surface, and the ocean temperature rises. This begins a cycle of warming and melting. So if we have a lot less ice, and this is all melting up the area around the ice, that means that not only are we going to see a shift in that area where before it didn't have hot water, it's not going to be hot water, but it's going to be warmer. it's going to increase and accelerate, as they were talking about in the report. It's going to accelerate the ice melting at a rapid rate, which could cause not only flooding coastal cities, but the massive amount of fresh water could kill off a lot of animals that can't live in ice in salt water. It's gonna push the rivers that we have, the Gulf Streams, the warm water rivers that we have coming down from the equator. It's gonna push them back and in, and it's gonna push them around, and it's gonna accelerate a lot of that cold water down towards, and those cold rivers down towards North America, not only, but the Europe and parts of Africa as well. The whole fucking world. I mean, it's gonna push the levels that we have now. It's gonna push it, and not only it is gonna heat it up, but the whole Earth could shift. The whole Earth. I mean, where now we see ice, and where you have hot days, right? Where you live right now could be covered in ice, and where ice is now covering the land, that land could now be, well, not now, but could be freed, and could be where it gets warmer. So that's what I would say a pretty serious situation. Not only would it affect maybe half of or 70% of the USA, many parts of Mexico, South America, it could ruin everything. We would maybe not head into an ice age, but many parts of our planet would head into an ice age. I mean, of course, the heating is a problem. The Earth does get warmer. The Earth gets warmer and it gets colder, which is funny. But the areas where it's going to be warmer is going to be expediently warmer. Proof of thought, guys. Proof of thought. So when people are saying to me, "Well, the Earth isn't getting colder. You know, the Earth isn't getting warmer." No, we never said it was going to get warmer. We said that the areas around the ice is going to get warmer. The temperature, the levels of the Earth isn't getting, but the ocean is getting warmer, right? We said it. I don't know, shooting, because if we're looking at yearly data, I wish I could bring it up for you guys. I don't know if you can. I mean, I could maybe do a little wishes thing. Fucking. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna post it on my Twitter, and I'm gonna show it to you. Here. Oh, my bad. Holy shit. I got somebody stuck in my throat right there. Look at that. I hear some faint air raids going on in Ukraine as well right now. You probably can't hear that, but I do hear some faint air raids going on back there. So that was the image that was concerning me as well. Here you go. And this is in Danish, so you can't read this. I'm trying to translate the best I can, of course. It says right here in the bottom, this should not be able to happen. Listen, that's the bottom line right there. This should not be able to happen. The South Ocean water has hit a new rock bottom. There you go, 2023. You see a difference right there? Oh my god, look at that, right? Look at that. Boom. Fucking bottom. We had some things happening over here. It's never been this low before. It's just a steady decline all of a sudden. Didn't even go past or up anywhere this whole year. Look at that. there's a winter on an Antarctic, and the ocean ice should, it says, should be spreading fast, but that's not happening, and scientists are in deep wonderment. So that's what's going on. Bringing it here first, guys. It's the timeline of this. I mean, if you don't understand what I'm saying, go watch the movie. It's on Disney Channel right now. Not Disney Channel. Disney Plus, if you have that. It's The Day Before Tomorrow, I think it's called. Wait, no, that's not what it's called. What's it called? Is it? No, that's the is it that? No. What's it called? Let me just check real quick. I forgot the name of the movie. I'm gonna have you watch something. It's a Danish thing that I only have it in Danish. I couldn't find not 2012. It's I know what you're talking. It's not 2012. It's a different movie. I'll find it. One second. Just 1 second. I'll find it. Damn it! It should be here somewhere. Taking some time right now to scroll up right here. Got a lot of things going on. The Day After Tomorrow. The Day After Tomorrow. Sorry, that's what it's called. It was very close. The Day After Tomorrow. If you don't understand what's going on, because 2012 was like the whole Earth just ended. That the 2012 didn't have any scientific sense. It was just a movie, right? The Day After Tomorrow actually has scientifically. It's a bit different as to what I'm talking about. But if you're wondering what I'm talking about, and you're wondering how that the Earth would look like at that end, right? I'm gonna play a little. I'm gonna play it on stream, obviously, but I'm gonna. It's from 2004, by the way, so it's quite an older movie. Some of these movies always scarily predict how the future would look like. I mean, we can't hear that, but. And I can't exactly show you a picture of it, obviously. Or I may be able to show like a screenshot of it, which is what I want to show you. So in this, it describes a bit of a bit of a different scenario, but it does describe a little bit of what I'm talking about. It's just this one happens because of massive storms that all of a sudden occur over the place, right? But and this one describes it a bit different than what I would describe it, as to what would happen. But I'll give you the screenshot of it. I can show a screenshot because I'm not showing the movie. But oh wait, no, I can't screenshot that actually. Hold up. God, you can't do that. Here we go. I think, yeah, well okay, this is the best picture I can probably get you. So, when you look at this picture, right, and this is North America right here, the way I would describe it, it's a bit different, but, so, okay, so that's the review of The Day After Tomorrow, right? This is how the world would basically look like. In my mind, this is like if it's gonna happen or not scientifically, but in my mind, it would switch. In my mind, it would be somewhat different. But England, France, Germany, Poland, Ukraine. You see the Baltic states, all of Denmark right there is covered in ice. All of these areas that usually isn't covered. Russia is completely covered. China, India, parts of India, these places where it's... You see here, for example, which is what I'm talking about, that the places that used to be warm is now going to be cold. You have Afghanistan is a very these Middle Eastern countries, right? Very cold countries. And if it was reality, I think Turkey would also be covered as well. But reality here would be, Australia and these places. I think what I would imagine is a lot of these places that usually is hotter would look a lot different. They would be the hotter places, switch places, So India, parts of India and China, and then you have these Middle Eastern countries, deserts, and very, very cold places. You would see snow all of a sudden, right? It wouldn't happen that it was snow. The oceans also carry along some of that, right? But this is what I'm talking about right here. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you're living in these areas. There's not a lot left of America, as you can see right there, and that's deserts. These areas are usually very, very fucking hot. Some of these areas have the records for the highest weather in the world. I mean, Jordan, Azerbaijan, we have the Czech Republic. Looks like we have Romania, Moldova. All these countries right here, just completely covered with ice. And Japan, right there. Japan is not exactly a cold country, but it's completely covered in ice. And look at that, a complete change in what the world is. So this doesn't really make sense, because this would mean that the colder areas would get cold. I mean, that's also a scenario, right? The colder areas would get cold. It depends on how it would change it. But this is what I'm looking at right here. In my mind, it would go a little bit different. It would change it, but it's very much the same scenario as what I'm talking about. Like this one right here, where you're seeing a lot of the. I mean, this is somewhat what I could imagine. Some of the warmer areas getting a bit more cold. Well, no, that's not exactly what I was talking about. But you get the gist. You get the jid, or whatever I'm trying to say. But if you don't understand exactly, I recommend you go watch that movie. It's a very entertaining movie. It will give you a bit of an understanding of what I'm trying to tell you here. Now, this just happened out of the blue. It sort of is some sort of tsunamis, or what you would call it, covering the planet all of a sudden, right? But in my mind, it would probably, if it's happening like we are having it happen, it would probably look a bit different than it does at that movie. But same scenario, and the amount of lives that we're talking about would be crazy. That would be lost, livestock, and 300 and what? I mean, those 200 million people that live up in those states right there. Some of those areas would be the most populated areas of America, completely already gone at that point, right? I mean, I know this is not what you came here to do, but I do cover the most of the tragedies that goes on. But the timeline for this to happen, I'll be very honest with you. Timeline, we don't know. 2025, 2024, but if it continues to do this the whole year, which is apparently it's been doing, and it's continued to dropping the next year, because now it's already, if it's true, it's pretty much at that point where it's getting irreversible. And if it's at that point now, right? If it's at that point now, we would see an extreme decline in ice, and a incline in not only our water levels, but the amount of cold. So no matter if you think climate change or not, this could occur because of climate change or not. I don't know if this is because of climate change. I can't really tell you about that. I'm not an expert on climate change. But when we're talking about climate change, this is not global warming. This is simply climate change. So I mean, but let's get back to the real news and what's going on in Belarus. Hope I didn't bore you guys too much. There's been a lot of lecture. A lot of people don't come to watch lectures, right? I don't come to watch that. I come to watch some war news, and I'm gonna give you the war news of what I understand at the moment. I mean, listen, there's not a lot happening. We're seeing a lot of happening in when I say there's not a lot of happening, I know that there's a lot happening in Ukraine, which is what we're going to want to be covering. I'll give you your daily wind patterns update, guys. I usually do this, but I will be giving you guys the winter. I'm not really an expert in anything. Fed up. I just do some research, but I'm not really an expert in anything. You know, this is just for me watching videos and stuff like that. Not really an expert in anything, you know. I mean, this guy was saying wind direction is pretty much ideal for Ukraine instead of UP attack to cover the Russian. Oh my. Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. Well, this guy thinks that Ukraine is gonna attack. So yeah. Okay. Well, that's stupid. But no, it's not ideal for Russia to be attacking as it wasn't yesterday. Look at that. Look at that wind right there. If they blow it up today, it was gonna cover their own country. The wind direction hasn't changed pretty much since the whole yesterday. It's covering up here and gathering over there. That tornadoes or wind furrows? Wind furrows, as you would call it, right there. But not an ideal day to be blowing up ZMPP. You know, not today. Not an ideal day. It certainly hasn't been a very ideal day for the Russians to do anything at that plant at the moment. I did have a professor who talked to me about some of the stuff that I've been talking to you guys about now, who his descriptions of it was pretty much the same. He also used 2004 as the reference, so you know, I'm not saying this is gonna happen. I'm just saying it's a scenario that is the scientifically scenario, or at least some of those what's proven. But many things can happen. You know, not an expert in anything, so I'm not claiming anything, but it is certainly something to think about, at least at the moment. Zelensky slams NATO members rejection of timeline. What's that say? For Ukraine.
NATO chief Jens Stoltenberg has signaled support for Ukrainian membership in the alliance, saying the country could join, quote, when allies agree and conditions are met. But NATO leaders stopped short of offering Kyiv a concrete timeline. Before the summit, Ukrainian President Volodymyr
Zelensky calls NATO absurd, because we are.
Had harsh words for the alliance, calling NATO's lack of clarity absurd.
As Russian attacks rain down on Ukraine, the country's flag flies high over Vilnius, the city playing host to NATO leaders. Ukrainian President Zelensky came here with a clear message. He wants concrete commitments from the alliance. Ukraine will make NATO stronger. Ukraine has long harboured ambitions of joining NATO.
Yeah.
Though leaders have agreed to remove some barriers to entry.
I mean, the problem before was that not only did Ukraine was a very corrupt country and didn't spend a lot on their defense. In fact, they had nothing very modern. But now, you know, when we're looking just a year later, or above a year, about a half a year, we're looking at them now and we're thinking, I mean, these guys are the most advanced. They're the most hardcore soldiers that we have. And they have a lot of the latest equipment from all countries around. So now, I would say that they definitely...
Kiev's hopes of securing a timeline for accession have been dashed.
We reaffirmed that Ukraine will become a member of NATO and agreed to remove the requirements for a membership action
I'm gonna go get something. I'll be back a bit later. I'll leave you this.
Ukraine's membership path from a two-step process to a one-step process. We also made clear that we will issue an invitation for Ukraine to join NATO when allies agree and conditions are met.
For months, NATO nations have been haggling over when and how Ukraine should be invited to join the alliance. They say it won't happen while the war rages, because that could bring NATO into direct conflict with Russia. But some Eastern European and Baltic countries are calling for a clearer path for Kyiv.
Ukraine is using the equipment that the allies are giving and the ammunition, so it is already ticking those boxes. So what more can we do in order to really go to that membership?
Germany and the United States have been more cautious, keeping the focus on future security assurances. It is important for us from the outset that there are security pledges for Ukraine that can be effective after peace. That could include individual pledges to offer Ukraine support in case of further attacks, but not to fight for the country. At least one announcement at the summit will see Kyiv's ambitions take flight. Several nations, including the Netherlands and Denmark, agreed to start training Ukrainian pilots on Western-made fighter jets later this year.
And we're now joined by DW Russia analyst Konstantin Egad, who joins us from Vilnius. Konstantin, is this really the best NATO leaders could offer Ukraine at the moment?
Well, it seems that this is the best compromise they could reach, Nicole, and no more than that. Indeed, during the war, it was very difficult to imagine that Ukraine will be invited sort of to join the alliance. But what the Ukrainians, the Central Europeans and the Baltic countries really wanted is some kind of more or less clear roadmap or timeline. And this is lacking. And because of that, frankly speaking, it starts to look very much like Bucharest 2008 again. And I've been there and frankly I see, well, just a bit of difference.
What is the difference from Bucharest, where NATO declared that Ukraine would eventually be able to join the alliance?
In political terms, pretty much none. There is still no timeline, and the conditions are pretty vague. You can say that Ukraine is not ready, basically, as long as you want. The only real thing is the removal of a demand for a membership action plan, which is a preparatory stage before joining NATO. It usually lasts, well, 2, 3, 4 years. Now Ukraine will not have to go through that. But the problem is that you don't know when Ukraine is going to go through that. And this is something that I think will have an impact on the future of the war with Russia and, frankly speaking, on the future of the alliance.
NATO members are very hesitant to offer a set timeline to Ukraine, and it is one of the central demands that Zelensky brought to the summit. What are the reasons for caution here? Why can't NATO say, okay, once the war stops, we can initiate these steps?
Well, once you speak to, diplomats and officials on the sort of, if you want, in the corridors of the summit, it's very clear that one of the reasons is the situation in the United States. The Biden administration is under increasing pressure from isolationist wings of the Republican Party and its own Democratic Party, which essentially says that United States should withdraw from the world and try to avoid any kind of involvement in military conflicts. And in the run-up to the election year, many people here are saying Joe Biden, US president, is extremely cautious not to be seen as quote-unquote a warmonger, someone who can accidentally draw the US into the conflict with Russia, which could become nuclear. Other experts here are saying that it's quite unlikely that Russia will go for a nuclear confrontation with NATO, but still caution reigns here in Vilnius.
The Kremlin has said it will closely watch this summit. How might this be playing out in Moscow, you think?
Well, frankly speaking, my suspicion, my personal take is that Putin will kind of breathe a sign of relief. Nothing dramatic happened. Probably they expected it. They have their sources. Whether it will have an impact on the prosecution of the war by the Russians, I think it will. Because, frankly, this indefinite, sort of unclear time frame pushes Putin to extend the war as long as possible, to make it protracted in order to delay Ukraine's accession to NATO for as long as possible. So this will be a political and I'm afraid military logic, the military logic of Moscow in the coming months and who knows, probably years.
DW's Konstantin Eckert in Vilnius. Many thanks.
Thank you.
Let's move on and get the Ukrainian perspective and bring in Alexander Sherba. He's a Ukrainian diplomat. He served as ambassador to Austria until 2021. Today, he's the ambassador for strategic communications at the Ministry for Foreign Affairs. Mr. Sherba, welcome to DW. President Zelensky says it's absurd that NATO doesn't establish a clear timeline for Ukraine's membership. How do you feel about the declaration?
Well, I won't lie, it's kind of disappointment, quite frankly, considering that NATO's policy towards Ukraine, let's be honest, was one history, one big lie over the last 2 decades at least. People spoke and said that the doors to Ukraine are open, but in reality, everybody knew that they aren't, because that was the way of NATO to not to escalate and not to provoke Russia. And our hope was that after it became so obvious that this policy of, appeasing a bully has failed, after a year and a half of Ukraine basically doing NATO's job and defending Europe and providing security to Europe in the face of this mad Russia, and after 23 countries of NATO supported a clear timeline for Ukraine's NATO accession, we thought it would be a little bit more than in this final statement of the summit.
So why do you think the communique is so vague? What is NATO afraid of, and who within NATO is afraid?
Well, I completely agree with Konstantin. I think it's first of all, it's about the position of American leader, and we were extremely thankful and grateful to Joe Biden for providing all the support and all the necessary, basically taking the right position on most of Ukraine issues. But in this particular point, it sounded a little bit like continuation of an absolutely failed Obama policy. And I think tomorrow, during the inaugural meeting of the Ukraine-NATO Council, there will be a quite open conversation about it, and knowing the temperament of our president, it will be a heated discussion tomorrow.
Some argue that it's not in NATO's best interest to grant membership to Ukraine. What would Ukraine bring to the table in exchange for the alliance potentially risking an all-out war with Russia?
Well, nobody is speaking about bringing Ukraine in right now because we are at war with Russia. We are speaking about opening a door and finding something more tangible and clear than all these, mantras from the past. That turned out to be shallow and empty.
Why should you become a member, though? Sorry to interrupt you there.
Excuse me?
Why should Ukraine become a member? What would they bring into the alliance?
Aside from the strongest army in Europe, aside from the population that absolutely adamantly believes in NATO, aside from, proving that we are protecting and fighting and bleeding for the values of NATO. Well, all these things plus, I don't know, it will be NATO's credibility.
What would you hope to get as a member that you're not already getting now?
First of all, after the war ends, there will be a huge effort on rebuilding Ukraine, of course, and no sane, cautious investor would invest in a country that doesn't have a certain security umbrella over it. And NATO's fifth article is the most tangible thing to provide such umbrella.
Mm-hmm. You seem very disappointed. So does President Zelensky. What's the way forward now?
Well, most important thing is, of course, that both the NATO and Ukraine are moving ahead. The 23 countries of the NATO have clearly stated what they want. I think tomorrow the meeting of the Council will also show the overwhelming majority of the countries really wanting to, leave in the past this policy of, hypocrisy towards Ukraine. And as open and real partners to each other, we should be moving ahead first to winning this war, and second to making Europe a more secure, more safe space.
Kyiv turned
As Ukrainian diplomat Alexander Sherba, thank you so much for your time.
At the moment.
Thank you.
And we can develop the story further with Justin Logan. He's the Director of Defense and Foreign Policy Studies at the Cato Institute think tank. He specializes in U.S. grand strategy and U.S. foreign policy. Welcome to the day. Let's dive right in. No clear path to NATO membership for Ukraine at this point. In your opinion, should Kyiv receive an invitation to join the alliance?
I'll leave this up.
No, I think that the decision itself not to extend a meaningful pathway to membership for Ukraine was correct.
Hello? Can you hear me?
I actually agree with.
I just said I'm taking a break back here. If you have any questions, do type. I'll answer them in typing. But taking a little bit of break, and then I'm here researching all that. So yeah.
But substantively, the Western allies, the United States, Germany, and France have revealed that they don't believe they have an interest in Ukraine worth fighting Russia over. And given that the Article 5 commitment, as Joe Biden has recently put it, is a so-called sacred commitment to treat an attack on one member of NATO as an attack on all, we shouldn't extend a security guarantee to a country we've just revealed we don't believe we have an interest in fighting over.
Let's talk about when Ukraine becomes a member, because at this point it seems to be a matter of when and not if. Do you think that would deter Russia from future aggressions?
Well, I'm not sure that it is a matter of when and not if at this point. I mean, it's hard to predict 20 years down the road, but I think for the policy relevant future, it's terribly unlikely that Ukraine will become a member of the alliance. As to the question of whether Article 5 would actually deter Russia, to kind of go back to the point that I made previously, credibility is a sort of witchy thing, right? It's difficult to quantify, it's difficult to make a commitment credible. And given that in the very recent past, in the present, in fact, we've revealed that we don't believe we have an interest in fighting Russia and Ukraine, President Biden calls such a prospect World War III, there's reason to fear that the Russian president or any Russian leader would say, look, the Americans have said that this would be World War III, and under no circumstances are they going to fight for Ukraine, so why would we credit an Article 5 commitment to Ukraine? And then I think there's a risk that were that to happen, you'd have other very vulnerable countries like the Baltic states, for example, wondering, hey, wait a minute, which kind of Article 5 guarantee do we have? Do we have the kind that France and Germany had? France had during the Cold War, and Germany had starting in West Germany had starting in the 50s? Or do we have some other Ukraine type Article 5 guarantee that means something completely different?
So what you're implying is that NATO would never stand up to Russia, or NATO would just never stand up to Russia in Ukraine under Article 5?
It's a Ukraine question, right? If we granted an Article 5 security guarantee to Ukraine and Russia were to attack it, we would have really two choices, right? React as though Article 5 is a sacred commitment, and as President Biden has said, the United States will defend every inch of NATO territory, if you'll forgive the imperial measurement. So that would lead to the prospect of a direct NATO-Russia shooting war with the potential for nuclear escalation were we to stand by the commitment. if we were to renege on the commitment and say, well, we'll just send some materiel and money and things, but we're not actually going to fight for Ukraine, then you'd have many other NATO members saying, would the Americans fight for us? Would the Germans fight for us? And I think that is the uncomfortable underlying reality that we face in this sort of strange discussion about admitting Ukraine to NATO.
So what do you think is behind these vague promises of not now, but later, if, in your opinion, there is no real interest of ever including Ukraine in the alliance?
That's a very good question, and I don't have a good answer to it, because I, in an article that I published last week, said, the honorable thing to do would be, if you have no intention of doing something, plainly admit we're not going to do this, so that Ukraine won't have the possibility of engaging in wishful thinking or hearing what it wants to hear. But they continue to sort of dangle this prospect out there, and I don't know why they're doing it. I think it is, I understand quite clearly why the Ukrainian leadership is frustrated, and it's just my hope that they will kind of read between the lines and understand that this is conceived of in some Western capitals as the kind of polite way to say no. When in fact, I think it's actually quite dangerous and disingenuous.
It is very dangerous, and you can see that there is a lot of disappointment on the Ukrainian side right now. I want to get back to something that you said before, that it's not, in the United States' interest to see Ukraine included in NATO. But NATO was created to deter Soviet expansionism, stop the revival of nationalist militarism in Europe through a strong North American presence, and to encourage European political integration. Now, let's pull all of these principles into the 21st century. Would Ukrainian accession not fit right into this mission?
NATO was founded at a time when Ukraine was part of the Soviet Union. If you had told policymakers in 1949 or 1950, we're going to keep this thing rolling until Ukraine is a member, they'd have said you were out of your mind. U.S. policy in Europe historically has been counter-hegemonic. The United States' interest is to prevent one country from dominating Europe. So World War I, World War II, the Cold War, these were all scenarios in which there was a prospect that Germany twice and the Soviet Union once could have dominated the European continent. Even if Russia were to conquer all of Ukraine, if it took all of Ukraine without a shot having been fired, its GDP would have gone up by 10%, making it roughly the size of Italy's, and it would have had a second major port on the Black Sea. That does not put Russia in a position to dominate Europe, or even really to threaten Germany or Poland, given the terrible military performance the Russians have had in the first 17 months of the war. So my view as an American is that our interest in Ukraine is limited. It's particularly limited as contrasted with Ukraine's interest in Ukraine, which is almost unlimited. And that's why you heard the Ukrainians last spring, for example, calling for the U.S. to enter the war via a no-fly zone. The U.S. politely declined, and a number of things where the Ukrainians have actually tried to escalate and bring the United States in, right? When a surface-to-air missile from Ukraine landed in Poland,
we
they blamed it on the Russians.
only have a couple of seconds left, but I do want to ask you, if national interest really reigns supreme, what's the point in being in an alliance?
Well, NATO was founded at a point when it was very plausible that the Soviets could have come in and taken the industrial heartland of Europe for itself. So I think there was a very plausible argument that we needed to prevent the Soviet Union from dominating Europe. It's just that Russia can't dominate, this Russia can't dominate Europe today.
All right. Justin Logan, Director of Defense and Foreign Policy Studies at the Cato Institute. Many thanks.
And we'll take you straight to the Ukrainian capital, as Vladimir Zelensky is to attend the NATO summit, even though Ukraine is not a member. Our correspondent in Kiev, Nick Connolly, can talk us through this summit's significance for Ukraine. Welcome, Nick. So let's start with today's angry tweet from President Zelensky, describing the signals he's been getting from NATO leaders as absurd.
Well, look, going into this summit, he made it very clear that he wouldn't just turn up and smile politely for the cameras and say thank you for the aid that Ukraine has received. He said he would only go in person if there were real concrete results for Ukraine. And there's a sense that he had been led to believe that more would happen, that now it looks likely will be given to Ukraine in terms of firm guarantees, in terms of a timeline for joining as soon as the war is over. Now there's talk of just a formal invitation rather than a timeline to full membership, and that is obviously something that has got him very angry. I think there's a real sense here in Ukraine that these are just basically made-up reasons to try and kind of kick the can in the hope that once the rockets, the bombs have stopped falling on civilians here in Ukraine, that the pressure will be off to take Ukraine and to kind of show some kind of openness and solidarity with Ukraine. This is not about getting Ukraine to change. This is just a kind of time-wasting tactic from countries that don't want to see Ukraine in the alliance.
Right. So let's look at today's meeting then. Two questions in one. What does Ukraine want from the summit, and what's it likely to get?
Well, as for the wants, I think it's clear, and no one was really expecting here that they would join while the fighting continues as it has, but they were certainly looking for a time frame, and a shorter time frame than anyone would have thought possible before this war. They point to Finland and Sweden and say this is essentially a political decision. If you want us, you can take us. Stop trying to claim that this is all about technicalities. When you talk about governance and rule of law, they point to Hungary, they point to Turkey and say these are countries that have lots of questions about their governance, and yet they are full members of the alliance, and there is no question of them being thrown out for that. So there's a real sense that Ukraine needs a clear path to NATO membership, and they say that as soon as that happens, Russia will basically leave off, that this doesn't escalate, this just makes it clear to the Kremlin that the West is with Ukraine in the long haul. As for what it's going to get, I think it's still pretty much open. It seems like that tweet from Zelensky was part of an attempt to kind of up the ante and to maybe try and push for more than was seemingly going to come out of this summit. I think there are lots of different briefings coming out from different delegations with all slightly different spins on what's going to be given. So I think there is a sense that there is still going to be a lot of pressure, especially on Germany, that has once again come out as the most cautious on Ukrainian NATO membership, to try and push their position towards some kind of more clear guarantee that Ukraine will indeed become a full member, rather than just cooperating, rather than just receiving military aid.
Right. Ukrainian people got a lot on their hands at the moment with this war going on. Is Ukrainian membership of NATO something that is particularly at the front of their minds, especially given it's been under discussion since, what, 2008?
No, it's gone, man, isn't it?
Well, if you look at the polls, there's about 90% support for NATO membership in Ukraine now since this full-scale invasion from Russia happened in 2020. That is significantly up on the already majority, kind of pre-existing majority of support for NATO membership. And when you talk to people, they will say that Russia basically only understands force. That is the kind of consensus opinion here in Ukraine, and that, you know, Israel-style guarantees are all well and good, but they say Israel has much weaker, much more fragmented neighbours. It doesn't have a nuclear power directly on its borders that is trying to retake its territory, and that Ukraine needs that full NATO membership. They were given guarantees of safety in the 90s when they gave up their own nuclear weapons. The US, France, Russia, the UK all signed up to that, and in the end they did nothing when Crimea happened. They did comparatively little at the beginning of this war. So there's a real sense here that anything...
Shut this guy up real quick. It was very big there for a second. That right there, and then I was looking at it, and then I came across it. Started, and I listened to that. Nothing there, right? Nothing there. Nothing. We go past here, right? Nothing. Nothing. Airways turn on. Airways turn on. There. Is that the moon? Is that the moon? Oh, wait a second. Back a bit, right? Let's see, turning around. It's turning around. Might be the moon. I'm sorry if I'm scaring anybody. Might very well be the moon. I'm gonna check if it's there. That's what I want to know. Certainly a light back there going up. I think it's the moon coming up. There's just nothing back there. Well, this is in Kyiv, Nick, so, you know. It looks like to be nothing, right? And air raids turn on, and we go. And in Kyiv, right? And all of a sudden, there's something big over there. No, it's the moon. It's the moon. False alarm. It's the moon. Alright. I just didn't see it before. So it's the moon getting up. I was like, holy shit. No, it's the moon. It's got, yeah, it's the moon. I was secondary because I didn't see it before, so I was like, what the fuck just happened? What? Moonrise time in Ukraine is 3. Okay, well, it's not 3 a.m. in Ukraine, so shit. It's 1:30 a.m. in Ukraine. And you sure about that? Shooting? Because that looks very much like the moon right there. The moonrise. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I went into his chat yesterday, and I asked, it looks like the moon, right? I mean, that's, so, let's chop it up to being the moon, hopefully. Which is very randomly as soon as that, but, yeah. You know, I went into his chat today, yesterday I think. He was watching videos all day, and then I asked what was going on. Then somebody told me to rewind to hear him talk, and I rewind it. And all day, all that video was just him watching the same video. He didn't talk for the whole stream, and then I said, he hasn't talked. And then they said, yeah, and then they didn't answer me. You know? He didn't even give an update that whole stream. It was just videos. I mean, I know, you know, no hate on all, but you go live and people expect an update. You know, all you give them is a video to rewatch all day. Not much, you know, news coverage over that. I'm just saying, you know. I mean, moonrise. How can that be 3 a.m.? How can the moon get up at 3 a.m.? The moon gets up when the sun goes down, or, well, not immediately, right? But are you sure 3 a.m. is the right time? Because it usually gets it gets bright. It gets bright at 4 a.m. in Ukraine. So how can the moon get up at 3 a.m.? I don't want to discount anything, but it just sounds a bit weird when the sun goes up again at 4 a.m. in Ukraine. Right now, in summertime, it goes up at 4 a.m. and then the moon also goes up at 3 a.m. Or am I? I mean, it just sounds, you know. I don't want to, you know, say anything. It's just no. Sounded a bit weird. Well, you can't post links in here, shooting. Only mods can do that. But what's the channel? What's the name of the? I mean, when I search it up. Sunrise, current time, well, that's not right. Last update, current time, July 10th. Great, guys. It's really great coverage you guys doing there. What's this say? Sunrise at 4 or 5 a.m. about that, right? And then moonrise today at it's the moon. I mean, I don't know. We're debating something. I'm very certain it's the moon. You know, yeah. Moonrise here says it's 1 a.m. So and set at 4. So yeah. Moonrise. This is time and date, and then we got moonrise in Kyiv, 1 a.m. almost, or so. Yeah, it's all right, you know. Whatever website told you 3 a.m. must have been very off. They clearly don't know what they're doing. And lots of air raids alert that stays on right now. It's actually getting somewhat weird right there. I mean, what is that? Now that's not the moon. That's not the moon. What the fuck? Some weird things going on right now. What is that? Oh, it's alright. Shooting. Well, there's some big ass light back there. And that's not the moon. Cause now we now we know. The moon's over there. Or on the camera, it's rising. But that's, you know, it's, moon's over there. That's the moon. So is that the city? So look, just a second ago, right? Just a second ago. No light. That's the city right there, right? City turn on. City light right there, right? And then now we move past the moon right there, right? And then nothing there again. But now wait for it to turn around. It looked like a big ass light back there somewhere. Look at that. Is that the city? He stopped the camera right there. He just stopped. They just stopped the camera. Is that the city? That's the city. That's the city lights right there. That's very confirmedly city lights. Look at that. Yeah, that's city lights. We know that. But it begs the question what that big ass light over there is, because that's the moon. We confirmed that now. That's the moon. We confirmed that. But moving back here, I mean, big ass light back there. Is that another city we're looking at? There's strange sort of lighting on that. Look at that. Look. that a big city? What is that? The fire? Look at that. Big ass city right there. Or light or whatever's going on there. Doesn't look like a city. What kind of light show they got going on back there? Got a fire going on back there? You guys see this? I'm not going crazy, right? You guys can see that, right? Oh, sorry. I had it right there. And you got the moon in Odessa as well. So you see that right there. Look at that. It's got to be the moon. Shine through right there. Some kind of moonshine. What is that big ass light back there? Some kind of fire, maybe. Things are definitely picking up here in Iceland. They're keeping an eye on that volcano right there. This is light live as well from Iceland. Volcano eruption there. Begs the question what that big ass light in the background is, because it doesn't look like a city to me. I mean, I'm just saying. It exactly look like a city, doesn't it? Some kind of lighting things going on back there. Something weird. Seems to be nothing. There's no air raids going on about it. So, or that could be why we had air raids earlier. But yeah, the thing is, what's weird about it is that it wasn't there a second ago. So we go back tiny little bit right there, right? So this is the direction we're looking at. That's the direction right there. And there's nothing there. Nothing there. Right? There's absolutely nothing there. Pretty much, you know, that's the direction we're looking at. Look at that. That's the direction we're looking at. Go back a bit further. It's still there. Is it light? Some kind of light show going on back there, or looks to be completely like black back here, right? We can barely see nothing back there. There's almost nothing there, and that's where we saw the moon right there. Look at that, almost nothing. It's completely black back there. There's no light at all. And all of a sudden, there's a light back there of some sort of fire or something going on, of some kind or something there. Look at that. That wasn't there before. It just happened. Just happened as we were talking. It's some kind of... I think it's a fire. I'll be honest with you, because it's not a city. It wasn't there before. We would have seen it if it was there before. And all of a sudden it just comes up out of nowhere. Still there. Still bright as hell. I think it's a fire. One big ass fire. We hear air raids, and then air raid stops, and then now we're seeing this, right? Look at that, still there. Looks like it's even spreading a bit now. What even is that? This is in Kyiv, by the way. Kyiv Oblast, this area right here. Far away from 7PP. Just want to point that out. We see nothing going on. I mean, these are some kind of coal plants and gas plants. These are not what we were seeing. This is in Zaporizhia. So that's definitely a bit weird what's going on there. You know, I mean that's not a city. You know, that is not a city. What we're seeing happening back there. And there's no thunderstorms. Thank you, Ocean. So there's no thunderstorms. There's not the city back there because the light wasn't there before. And if there was a city and it was dark, we would have seen it before, like we're seeing the other lights. So either it's a big ass fire or something weird's going on back there. Look at that, because it wasn't there before. Big ass weird thing going on back there. This camera spins around and it stops sometimes weirdly. It stops and then it sort of looks in that direction. Right? And this is a night vision camera. So everything on a night vision camera that's bright, you know, will look brighter on a night vision camera. But if you can see that in the background there, and we don't have the it doesn't really have any color, so we can see the color of it. It's a bit weird. We got Kyiv right here. I mean, nothing extremes happened, but look at it. You know, it's not city lights. How can that be? How can that be city lights? Only 50%. Ukraine air defense is working in Kyiv Oblast now. 37 seconds ago, Ukraine front lines. Sources Ukraine front lines. There you go. Look at that, guys. Kyiv region. Reports of explosions. We're looking at Kyiv Oblast. We're seeing a light that wasn't there before. It's very likely that we are now looking at what is happening in Kyiv. That big ass sorry. Big ass light back there. Some kind of big fire reports in now here. Apparently air defenses have been going on. Doing some work back there. Look at that. Coming around here again. Camera is now spinning around here. We're going to be seeing that just in a second here. No way of determining what that is. We can get a pause here and look at that. Got a big ass light back there. Looks like it's spreading a bit. It's getting a bit bigger. Could be some kind of fire. That's what we know of. And I could show you again, you know. I mean, this is the moon, and then we got the direction of where we're looking. That was it before, right? And it's gotten much bigger now. We go back a little bit further. You know, we're looking out here. Moon. Nothing. You know. Moon. And then you turn around. That's getting a bit glitchy now. Nothing. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. We hear air raids turn on. Maybe a little bit back there, actually. Maybe a little bit back there. But you can see it is not a city because the light has not always been there. And it's been night for pretty much a long time. And this over here is a city. That's a city right there. It's probably Kiev we're looking at. Could be Kiev or some kind of settlement or village in Kiev. Look at that. And now we go back, right? And we're going live again. And the light back there is getting bigger. Kind of, I mean, if we were seeing that from a very big distance, that's a big ass fire right there going on. Massive reports of explosions in Kiev. Oh, mass reports of explosion in Kiev. Yeah, that just came in as well. So now we're seeing something. Russia says its Black Sea Fleet HQ attacked by drones. We're hearing some reports of a drone attack against the Black Sea Fleet. Well, I mean, expected. That's all I can say about that. And why not? Kiev region air defense is working. We should be mooring that. I mean, I already got the most credible. I've got my credible source. We got Ukraine front lines reporting on this. These guys are, you know, those are a very, very trustworthy site. We're seeing this here as well. So we might be looking at what that explosion is talking about. That is something. Look how bright the moon is. That's actually quite incredible on camera. But we're gonna swing around here now. We're gonna see that thing again. It's gotten bigger. Let's hope it starts getting smaller. But some kind of fire may be spreading back there. Something certainly, or could be on fire. But something's definitely going on back there. I mean, if it's seeing that, and if it's from a very big distance, because when you put that in perspective of how far away the city is, and if that's light that we're seeing from a fire, I can't claim this is anything, but it wasn't there 20 minutes ago. You know, it wasn't there 20 minutes ago. So, can't claim anything, but at the same time, you know, it wasn't there 20 minutes ago. So, kind of a crazy sort of situation going on there. And, shooting, you're deleting those. There's also another Kiev cams. There's nothing going on. This is the Kiev. I mean, this might be Kiev City right here. I don't think we have a. This is Kiev Oblast as well. We got some ambulance right here. Might be heading out soon. You're wondering what that is. They're wearing reflective vests, and that's what I'm saying. You know, even reflective vests light up on night vision cameras. So this could be a lot smaller than what it looks like on a night vision camera, but it certainly is big in the sense that it's very bright and it can be seen from afar. So we'll have to keep it at that. Yeah, keep looking at reports now. We're seeing more reports of this. This is apparently from earlier, but of drone attacks on the Black Sea Fleet in Russia that was parked in Russia. Now, Ukraine's been using some drone technology or drones, kamikaze drones, but I don't know if they have any kamikaze drones. I don't know if that's completely true, but they have definitely been using drones to apparently attack with a pretty big payload, you would imagine. The Black Sea Fleet can't really claim that, but it is more and more reports coming in now of that. But it looks to be earlier and not now, so. Kiev Oblast and Kairovohrad Oblast. I can't pronounce these names. I don't know. I'm sorry. The threat of Shadies. What? Now we're getting reports from the Guardian, pretty big news website, also claiming to have that video of attack on the Russian sea fleet right there. Take a look at that. That's a Russian warship back there, or no, so that's not kamikaze. Well, it might be those waterboarded kamikaze drones, which Ukraine, I believe, has been given. So you see that's shots right there. That's from the attack helicopter. Yeah, that's from the attack helicopter you saw over there. Look at that, shots all over right there. Now these are unmanned vehicles. These are drones and unmanned vehicles. There's a Russian vessel right there. This is infrared on. Oh, so you can see the engine right there. We're trying to get a good hit. Apparently straight right into the Russian ship right there, and then boom, stops. Said that frigate was one of 3 Russian ships that have been hit in the attack. Oh. Oh my God. I wish we saw that. Look at that. Oh. That is a big explosion. Look at that. This is not live. This is not live. Oh, there, Witch. But look at that. That was from earlier. Whoa, that is crazy. I've hinted. Oh, that is crazy. Russian warship attacks. Well, Russian warships has been attacked, I should say. Like they have been for a while, but those. Look at this right here, Witchy. This is apparently some kind of fire. We're seeing explosions in Kyiv, right? And we didn't see this before. It's light back here we didn't see before. Now all of a sudden we have it here, and there's explosions reported in Kyiv. So we think that we're looking at that live right now, actually. We're looking at that live. You heard it here first, folks. You heard it here first. Kyiv region military reports that the air defenses has been active for the second night in a row to repel Russian drone attack. Is that on Guardian website? Might be, Rose. It was definitely from the. I can give you. Shit, I gotta find it again now. Damn it, I gotta find it. There we go. It's not on the website, but if you go to the Guardian website, if not website. If you go to the Guardian channel, the Guardian, on YouTube, they have a video of that. One of their very recent videos, I think. If you go in and you go into videos, it might be one of their quite recent videos. So this could have been from earlier. But it should be on the Guardian. I can get you guys a link here so you don't have to look for it. Where are we? Here we are. Copy link. Here you are. You can go check that video out for yourself. You can see that it's the Guardian channel. Some kind of alarms going on. Maybe. The Guardian News channel, yeah. So that happened, and it appears to be have happened earlier today. Maybe actually doing the NATO summit. So that's some breaking news right there. We're gonna see. Keep looking at that. 1:21 a.m. It's about some time ago, and today they had an air raid alert in Kyiv that says please proceed to a bomb shelter. Kind of big Sam. Well, we don't know what they hit with you, but you know, very likely, yeah. What? Oh, 8 months ago? Really? God damn. Well, maybe I was wrong. I don't know. They kept reposting it like it was from today. Yeah, 8 months ago. Well, okay. Well, that's not new news. My bad. Well, I didn't realize that because everybody kept posting it. So I thought, okay, it's new news. Everybody kept posting about it. Everybody kept posting about it like it was Ukraine massive drone attack on Black Sea fleet. But this is a new video, or somebody was idiotic enough to find an old video.
Massive drone attack on pipelines, largest city.
Yeah, and then they show, and then an AI voice talking. No, okay, well, sorry about that then. That was 8 months ago. Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't even look at that. I am sorry. Sometimes I make mistakes. Enemy UAV movement spotted. Air defense is working in the region. Kyiv region military administration has now reported explosion in Kyiv. I believe this is what we're looking at. So they kept reposting it as if it's new news. It's not new news then. My bad. Well, I'm not hearing any air raids, but it could be true that there are still air raids going on. So we did hear air raids a second ago, but this is, of course, I mean, if we're talking about air raid sounds that they're not on, of course, this has to be cleared as well. Sooner or later, yeah. So I'm sorry. I don't know. It's good. It kept out posting it, so well, mistake made. But you got to see a big explosion, anyways. You know. Then kind of some. Is that what's that? Something in the sky right there. Something in the sky. That's something in the sky back there. Look at that. Oh, it's getting a bit smaller now, is it? No, it's not. Okay, it's still back there. It's so huge, though, which is weird. You know, it's so huge. You know, so it looks like it's spreading from there to there. And if anybody's, you know, wondering... Yeah, and if anybody's wondering if this was here earlier, and then if it's city, you know, this is the direction 39 minutes ago. 39 minutes ago, it looked like that, right? Go back a bit further. Still dark, still dark, still dark, still dark, still dark. Where? Where is it? You know? That's the moon, right? It's supposed to be right here. Where is it? You know? Well, some kind of... We're watching some kind of explosion that happened here in Kyiv, but, you know, we're looking at it now, and this is where it's supposed to be, right? Because this... So we go a little bit further, right? That's the city. That's the city, and that's also, I think, a city of some sort. But it's supposed to be right here. You go back now. You wait for it to come back. This is only 49 minutes ago. It wasn't there. And there you have it. It's getting bigger now, even. Look at that. 49 minutes ago, it wasn't there. So now the camera's even stopping to look at it. It wasn't doing that before. And that's and look at that. The reason why I know it's there, because that's the light we've been seeing for a while. This right here has been on all day, right? This is the same light. Some kind of air thing going on up here. Light in the sky back there. And that's the city. So, some kind of explosion happening in the background there. Stuff going on. More light going on. It's probably... So, that's the moon. This is the moon right here. If anybody was wondering. I was wondering myself just a second ago. But, you know, that's certainly a crazy scenario right there. Flash is a Twitter channel. I don't know if he's on YouTube. Yeah. It appears to be air defense. Some kind of air defense was going on, but what exactly they were fighting against and what exactly caused that big of an explosion is a wonderment to me, because it appears to be a very, very large explosion of fire. Now keep in mind, of course, that night vision alters the way we look at a light, because it becomes so much bigger when it has night vision on. If anybody's wondering about the news today, please do be Ryan. I was talking about some news about how the ice is literally melting away in our planet right now. Want to watch that? Go back a bit. If I had to explain it again, it would be exhausting, and we got this going on right now. So, any other news you guys want? Go back a bit. Set my phone to charge here, so I don't lose that. But this one's also saying, warning graphic content, Ukraine attacks headquarters. So maybe there's been a different attack, Rose. Maybe there's like a different attack that happened. And maybe there's like a some kind of attack that happened, different attack, but that guy just showed an old video. I don't know. Some people just trying to get some stuff going, you know. But it appears to be some kind of different reports coming in of attacks on the HQ, but I don't know, and we're not gonna go any more into that. But you know, some truth about it maybe. How you doing, Timothy? For anybody who's joining now, this is apparently some kind of fire or explosion that we're seeing here in the background. It's gonna come around. It's in Kyiv. There's still reports of explosions here in Kyiv, and we were looking at that now in Kherson as well. But gonna be looking at that. Look at that over there. All them damn planes up here in the sky right here. We're going to be looking at that. The best view we have over here, it's going to come around now. It's getting bigger. Seems to be getting bigger. I mean, it's not light. It's not light from the ground. Somebody's shining a spotlight in the air, you know. Somebody's shining a spotlight in the air. It's one hell of a spotlight. If somebody comes in here and say, imagine somebody from Lee's channel, some mod. It's a fucking car. It's a car. Some of those mods right there thinks they know everything, right? Comes in here. It's a car. Look at that. It's a car. Guys, it's a car. Come on. It's not. Don't speculate. It's a car. It's a car. We don't know. It's a car. That's what they're gonna be talking about. One hell of a car, guys. One hell of a car. One hell of a car. What do you, what? I looked up 5 other websites and I don't see it. The Ford F-2050 extended cab. You're never gonna see it in a car like that ever again. Look at these headlights. This is what we call military headlights. You can see this from 2 kilometers away. We don't even know what a kilometer is. We just know we can see it. Have you ever driven a Ford? You can see it from a mile away. Well, I don't know, Ocean. What do you mean? What is it you can't see? Are you talking about the HQ with Blackfleet? Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of fake news coming in on that right now. I don't know what hell's going on about that right now. What feeds are you talking about, Ocean? We got a drone still up over Lithuania. We got an E3 over Lithuania as well, and as well as a tanker. Yep. Listen, Ocean, I get that you're looking at other people's website, but you still haven't told me what you're talking about. Are you talking about this? Are you talking about the light or the explosion? I don't know what you're talking about, man. I've asked you, like, I don't know what you're talking about. I know that you're going on other people's website. I don't know what you're talking about. Are you talking about this? Are you talking about the Blackfleet? What are you talking about? Are you looking at Kyiv Oblast? I don't know what to tell you, Ocean. I mean, I'm not making this up. This is not me putting anything over. And I mean, pretty impressive if this guy managed to somehow put a light over his night vision camera and then managed to put up a big ass light in the background. I'm not saying it's a fire. I haven't claimed anything. I'm just saying it wasn't there 49 minutes ago. That light wasn't there, so it's not a city. I don't know. But if it's not showing up on any other feeds, you know, I don't know. But this is whose feed is this? Is this TVL? This is the same wavelength. If it's not showing up on any other feeds, I can't really help on that. You know, they might just not have it. 'Cause, I mean, you can't fake that right there. You know, you're not faking that. It is like live because we saw that and then we saw explosions here, so can't really doesn't get more like live than that. And we're seeing still a very much active volcano here in Iceland. It's getting pretty intense here in Iceland, I would say. Look at that. It is of course still sunlight coming out here in Iceland. But it is very, very this is like live right here, guys, and you're seeing magma coming out there. Well, you do that, which I mean I'm not, you know, I can't claim anything, but you know the light wasn't there 49 minutes ago, so whatever it is, it's something. We now have drones in southwestern vector of Kyiv Oblast have entered Vinnytsia Oblast. They're not saying. I don't know if it's that. I don't know how true that is, but we're seeing now air raids here in Vinnytsia. Drones in southwestern vector of Kyiv Oblast have entered Vinnytsia Oblast. Okay, so some kind of drones going on. Can't know if that's true, of course. I think I hear some air raids, maybe faint ones. No. Maybe the faint ones. I don't know. It's one hell of a light. But you know, if it's a spotlight, I don't know what to tell you. You know, it's a very big spotlight. Because you're looking at that right there, right? It wasn't there 49 minutes ago, and it's getting somewhat bigger, I would say. I mean, is it the whole city turning on or what? I don't know. It is a very beautiful sight, you know, and it's actually becoming pretty much a phenomenon. People have actually, in between this happening, people have actually booked tickets and are now going to Iceland as we're talking. There's been like a surge of tickets because it's summer and everybody wants to go somewhere on holiday, and so people like, there's a volcano in Iceland. You've never seen a volcano active in real life. All right, we'll go to the volcano. It's actually pretty fun. Even I've been thinking about it. I was like, should I? Like, I've actually been thinking about maybe I want to go because it's like a one-time in a lifetime kind of thing. You know, you don't actually get to see these active volcanoes all the time. I mean, there's active volcanoes and there's magma all over the places all over the world. But in this sort of way, because you know, when you look at Iceland, it's a very cold place. So the cold mixing with the heat creates this sort of beautiful somewhere. Somewhere hot, but Iceland is not very hot. You know, it's very cold in Iceland. So it mixes with the heat and creates this very bright sort of look, which really makes it look majestic. I would say, but it's certainly a very majestic look right now. Let's stick with the cams. Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna go to Hawaii. Oh, you going to Hawaii? Oh, that's pretty fun. Yeah, I mean Hawaii's got a lot of volcanoes too, so you might want to watch out. Well, we're seeing multiple of those, but we're not sure what blew up or if anything blew up. There's not been talks about it, but massive talks about air raids and stuff like that turning on. So, and air defenses has been working, as they say. We can't know, but yeah. NATO monitors the situation with the transfer of nuclear weapons to Belarus and the situation at ZNPP Stoltenberg. Alright. It's Jens Stoltenberg quote right there. Jens Stoltenberg. Alright, it's off now, but we also have new air raids inside of Kyiv. Well, new. It's actually not that new. It's quite old. I don't know why I said new. It's been on for a while. It's 2:29 and I was like, oh, we got new air raids. Oh, I forgot. It's been on. My bad. No, not new anyone's, but still light back here in the background. What was that? There's still some kind of light going on back there. But we're not sure if it's light or if it's an explosion or a fire. If it's a fire, it's a big fire. It could be caused by something that we don't know. I can't afford to go to my couch. Lol. You can't afford to go to your couch? Oh, that gets tough. I tell you that's tough right there. You know, you should be able to afford to go to a couch. You know, at least move the couch. You know, here's your solution. Just move the couch closer to you. You know? Everybody's always talking about, why do I have to walk to work? You know, why not just move closer to work and then buy and then just, you know, slide, roll to work. That's what you got to do. You know, why walk a kilometer when you can move closer to it? That didn't really make a lot of sense, but, you know, actually it was the least sensible thing I've ever said in my life, but These are the freshest airways that we now have on now. So, and they haven't been turned off for a while. They've been on all night right now. I think the might be a response from Russia saying, "Hey, all those things you said at NATO. Well, this is our response." Look at that. There's nothing happening right there. It's all of a sudden just got really bright there. Look at that. This is light we've seen back here, but that one, that one got really bright real quick. Look at that. Zoom. Is it gone again? It's gone again. That's in Zaporizhia. Oh! Holy shit! What the hell? Look at that. Some kind of lighting? What is that? Look at there. What do you call, yeah, Bidenomics now, right? That's what you call Bidenomics right there, guys. That's what you call economics. I graduated from Biden University. Got work. I'll catch you. All right. See you later. Shooting yeah, whatever. It was big, you know. It was like, you know. Is that a light? One hell of a illuminating light, you know. I don't know. These people you keep telling me that's a light or a spotting light. What kind of fucking light do you have that does that? Why do you need that light? What kind of fucking light do you have? I mean, it's still there somewhat. I've seen it before, some kind of lights turning on, but we got to remember that Zaporizhia is also on the front lines. You know, we got to remember that Zaporizhia, it's a Zaporizhia Oblast, not 7P, but Zaporizhia Oblast is on the front line. You know, and it sort of gets down right there. Flare, yeah. Well, maybe a bit too big to be a flare. Tiny big too. I mean, yeah. It certainly was something. I mean, but it turned on 2 times, which is the weird thing about it. Because first it was like that, and then it turned on again. It was one time. It turned on 1 time. We haven't seen that all day, and now it just goes back to normal. Like I don't get it. I don't. What is this? You know what is that? Is that the front line? What is it? You know, why is it there? Is it lights? Is it? I don't know what it is. Talk about it being the thermonuclear power plant, you know. The thing you gotta remember about, you know, the thing about, look at that. So it turned on twice. It was like, it turned on then, and then it got really big. And then now it's kind of turning down again. But the thing you got to remember also is that it's a night vision camera, and everything looks bigger on a night vision camera. It could be a lighting, and I got to be honest with you guys. Both Ukraine and Russia has turned to some World War I tactics, and World War I tactics oftenly took measures to fire flares in the sky to sort of look where the enemy was. It could very well be Russia using some World War I tactics. I mean, I don't know, you know. Auto chat. This one, yeah. Well, you know, it did not look like, you know, I'm just saying, but lots of dogs barking now. Lots of dogs there in the background barking. That's certainly something. Or jams that are made of duct tape. This guy's not talking about it. Well, that's just not right. Well, come on. Denmark Island of Death. Come on, man. What? Well, that's just not right. This guy just sitting out here dissing me. I don't know if this channel is pro-Russian. I can't, you know. No. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna comment any more on that. God damn, this guy just went to call us the Death Island. I mean, that. As soon as I look in chat. Come on. Not that bad. Be a little strict once in a while, but not that bad. Come on. You know? Come on. Come on. Come on. I mean, you know, if Russia is using World War I tactics to sort of look where the enemy is because they don't have much else, which is a thing, and it could be a flare. I'm not ruling it out. You know, flares do. And when we're talking about, we're seeing smoke here in the front, and we got a flare, and we're looking at a night vision camera. It could be true, but at the same time, it also looked like it came from the ground, so can't really say too much on it. So I'll be honest, I really don't know what that was. We'll have to look into that. But it sometimes it gets weird over here. Sometimes it goes up, it goes down. You know, some weird stuff happening over there. I can't, you know. No, that's just false. That's just false. That's just false. Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. Those days when you knew what was happening, like immediately after. That's right. That's the nuke. That's the orcs' night vision. They don't have night vision, so they use flares. But it's true. They don't have night vision. You know, so they do resolve to tactics like it. So. Yo ho, road a road. I mean, also, what exactly is going on back here? It's not morning in Ukraine, and it's not morning for another 2 hours or something like that. So we got some kind of lighting going on back there. I don't know what. I think it might be a city, or Kiev maybe. But some kind of big ass light going on back there as well. It could be reflection from the moon though, just sort of shining down on it because the moon is quite bright at the moment. Moon is going quite bright. It's quite bright. You heard of it. It's quite bright. We're going to keep this cam up right here because I'm going to keep an eye on what's going on back here. Is it still on? Some kind of weird light going on back here. We don't know what it is. And that's the weird thing. Because the thing about it, what it looks like is, when we're not looking at it, right? Kind of looks like it's in the air, which is weird, right? Because looking at it, it kind of looks like it's in the air because it's all the way up here now, right? And cities are down here. Look at it. So it's all the way up here, and the cities are down here. Look, so go a little bit forward, right? The cities are down there. Alien fucking ship or something? What the hell is that? Has it gotten higher up? Is it going higher up? But look at that. It's going higher up now? What's going on? Has it always been that high up? It has. Why is it that high up though? I mean, it could be because of the way you're looking at maybe the hill. But it's quite high up. You look at that, you know? It's higher up than... it's higher up than the cities. You know, this is a city, and this is the ground level right here. The moon shines down on that. And we could be looking at a hill, and we could be looking at something on the top of the hill. But, turning around and now looking at it, quite high up. Look at it. Look at it. It's the ground right here. You know, that's the ground. But I don't know if there's a hill here or something going on here because it's quite high up. It's like it's high in the air, it seems. Some kind of weird situation. It looks like it's moving upwards or something like that. Look at that. Look at that. It's kind of like it's in the frame now, right? It's in the frame. Going back a bit forward. Now we're going back an hour, right? It's been going on for an hour. It was there? Now then it was there, right? Look, it was there. That's where it started. Now look where it is now. Now look where it is now. Look where it is now. I'm gonna keep a mouse on it. Because it's not in the same position anymore. Which is weird. Because what the fuck is it then? It's all the way up there. Look at that. Look at it. It went from being here. Well, it went from being here. Or here. To here. You seeing that? Go back like 52 minutes, right? It's there. It's up here now. Well, up here. Look, let me go back a bit further, right? Hey, I'm telling you, Witchy. I mean, I'm just saying, you know. It's here. That's where it started. That's where it started. And now, again, we're down here, right? It looks to be down at ground level. Kind of looks like it's at ground level to start with. And now, it's there. Either the camera moved down, or it moved up. It literally physically moved up. A giant light in the sky, or something moved up. I'm telling you, either the camera moved down, which is very likely. You know, either the camera moved down, but the weird thing about it is also that... You got nothing? Oh, okay, but the weird thing about it is that it's here now, right? It's here. And the city is there. So the camera didn't move down. The city is here. And it's there. I'm waiting for it to move right here, right? It's at the level of where the moon is. Ground level. This is the ground level. Some kind of lights going on back here. This is the ground level right here. Say it one more time. This is weird as fuck. This is really weird. And now we got more lights going on back there. But it's up there now. What the fuck is... What the fuck is that? What is it? I mean, am I the only one who thinks it's a bit weird? Because either a whole city on the size of fucking Mount Everest or something just moved upwards. Right? A whole city just moved up. Or something weird just moved into the sky, or the camera moved, or something weird happened with some kind of aftershine, but it doesn't look like that. It doesn't look like it's shining. It's shine from the moon because it's moving upwards. Am I the only one who thinks this is weird? I mean, am I alone on this? Really hard to see at night. I gotta be honest with you, Ocean. We heard some shots here now in the background. But gotta be honest with you, it's really hard to see camera lens or bends or something like that in a camera. Because when you... Okay, so we look back an hour, right? The camera is angled here. The city's there. So the camera now appears to be here, right? Looking at the city is in the same level, which is weird, because we go back now again. Look at the city. Look at the city, right? That's where that light is. We'll keep the mouse on where the city is from this camera view now. See if it moved up, so we can get an explanation of this, right? But the city level, it's gonna be around here somewhere. Am I looking at a different camera now? What's going on? There we go. City right there, right? So the city's there. I'm gonna keep my finger on it. Moving forward, right? Waiting to get to the city. I'm keeping my finger on it to see if it moved up or down. I see that, yeah. 1 second. The city is in the exact same position. Oh, shit! Holy shit! Holy shit! You guys see that? Look at that. You hit the sound wave as well. Boom. Listen. Do you hear that? You heard that? Boom. Dong, dong. Shoot, boom. Dong. Hear that? Sound wave. Oh, we heard a sound wave. Yeah, that was an explosion right there. We heard the sound wave. Boom, boom. You hear that? But did they detect in Kiev? Sound like that explosion just was... Holy shit, now Zaporizhzhia is turning on. Did Zaporizhzhia just turn on again? Just got really bright there for a second. Now again. Really bright, and I'm gonna... What kind of rocket was that? That looked huge. That looked huge. It's huge. Boom, boom. We heard the sound wave. Like, but the weird thing about it, and I'm gonna be weird here again, right? Sound wave here in Kiev, right? Look at this is Kharkiv. Now Kiev is here, and Kharkiv is there. But look at Kharkiv. As we heard, that explosion happen. Boom, boom. It looked like it picked it up. That explosion looked like it just picked it up in Kharkiv and Donetsk. Listen to it again. Explosion. Look at that. Sound wave. It sounded like it actually hit Kharkiv and Donetsk. Boom. You see that? You see that? Listen again. Explosion. Boom, boom. Sounded like it just picked it up in Kiev. Not Kiev, sorry. Kharkiv and Donetsk. Donetsk and Kharkiv is in the other end of the fucking map. That is a big ass fucking explosion. If it picked it up in Kharkiv, if that sound wave was just picked up in Kharkiv and Donetsk, that's a big ass fucking explosion. Am I weird here? Am I the odd one out here? I mean, you can see it, you know? Going back again, I want to see it again, right? But look at it. Oh, we better turn. I go longer back. My bad. I'll go longer back. Listen to it. Listen to it. Listen to it. I think it comes here. Nope. Nope. Gotta go longer back. I accidentally spent a little too much time on it. Boom, boom, right? Boom, boom. Can you hear that? Listen to it again. And I'm sorry I'm replaying this, but this is really fucking intense. Cause listen, right? Boom, boom, and then look at this. Look at this. Boom. Sound wave just hit. As soon as that happened, also Zaporizhzhia. Sound wave just hit Donetsk. What was that? What the fuck was that? What was that? Am I going crazy or what? The sound wave that hit in Kiev Oblast was heard in Kharkiv and Donetsk. And some kind of what is that? What? Am I? What? What? Am I dreaming right now? But the thing is, you gotta agree with me, it didn't happen like an hour after. It happened immediately. We saw that sound wave go out, and it was a split second, and then we heard it. So it went across the country. No, Bryson. They didn't explode the plant because it was in Kiev, so they didn't explode the plant, but, you know. The explosion was not in Kiev. But it's bizarre because we heard it. We heard a blast sound in Donetsk and Kharkiv from apparently an explosion that happened in Kiev. That is more than 100 miles away from it. A 100 miles, almost 100 miles, guys. Probably above that. That sound wave traveled almost faster than the speed of light. What the fuck kind of bomb was that? You think that was a supersonic? Either way, it did some damage. It has to have done some kind of damage. Cause that, whatever just happened right there, that was crazy. And that some kind of weird alien ship. I'm not saying it's a weird alien ship. I'm just saying, I mean, it moved up. What the fuck kind of disc light is in the air right now, showing off kind of glares in the sky over Kiev? I've heard of Russian missiles that they call the flare light, which flies in the air to kind of help guide missiles. That's one explanation. I'm just saying that is one explanation. But it's one hell of a rocket. I'm about to take a plane and fly over, guys. I'm about to embark on an adventure right now to just find out what the fuck that is. And why the fuck is there light back here? What? That's probably moon reflection on the clouds. I gotta be honest with you. Probably moon reflection on a cloud right there. And if the camera moved up, right? If the camera moved upwards, that would have been gone down. If the camera moved down, that would have gone up. But it's in the same position as it was before. But we have a flying disc in Ukraine. Am I the only one who thinks it's a bit weird? Says on, what was that? Al Jazeera, Russia has launched a wave of drone attacks on Kyiv. I mean, what? It's a light that's moved into the air. There's a light that's moved into the air. What the fuck is that? Wait, wave of drone attacks? That sounds very right. I mean, wave of drone attacks kind of sounds right to me, but you know. Am I going crazy? Is this real? It's a light in the sky. Is that it? Is that it right there? Are we seeing this from Zaporizhia? Or are we... The light in the sky just disappeared back there? Why we, aliens in fucking... It's your peeps? You can tell your peeps to fuck off. We don't want no aliens. You think it's a searchlight? Yeah, Joe. I was saying that before, Joel. Cause there's one Russian missile I know that does fire searchlights that helps drones guide You think it's a searchlight? I mean, there's one hell of a searchlight. I'll be honest with you. Because the searchlight, Joel, it started on the ground and then moved into the air. I got to tell you that much. But the searchlight, which is apparently massive, you know, started on the ground and moved into the air. So, one hell of a searchlight there. You know, this searchlight, you know, started here. No, it's not a fucking UFO. Okay, don't start. It's not a fucking. Listen, it's not a UFO. There's probably a logical explanation as to what this is, but it started on the ground, and my thoughts go out that there is a Russian equipment that they use to guide missiles, not only missiles but drones, but a searchlight that started on the ground and moved into the air. Haven't heard of it, but you know, new Russian tech, I guess. Probably the most likely scenario. I mean, if there's drones, if there's mass drones attacking Kyiv, it would make sense. But certainly is a weird sort of situation right there. Light that moved from the ground to the air. I'm just saying. Certainly not every day that you see that. Certainly not every day that you see that. Okay. Oh, what was that? Did I just see something right there? You got a light right there. Look at that. I might have been... Oh, okay, but that might have been lightning, because I did forget there's lightning in... there's lightning... One hell of a searchlight, you know. The searchlight, those, I don't know what the rockets are called or what the searchlight, they do get quite big, but, you know, it started on the ground, but one hell of a searchlight going on right there. I mean, we also got to remember that it is night vision camera, and night vision camera does make anything look brighter, but, you know. It is sophisticated, you know. I do agree, Joe. It is the most likely scenario, but it still puzzles me what the fuck is there. As I said right before you came, I said right before you came in, I said it's probably one of those guidance lights, but you know, still looks weird to me that it started on the ground and is now moved into the air. You know, but and it was in Kyiv and it started on the ground, but we will. That's the most likely scenario. I'll agree with that. I don't think it's a Chinese fire lantern. You know, that would certainly be one hell of a fire lantern. Oh, one hell of a fire lantern they got going on there. Wow. Oh. Oh no. Make everything freeze? No, I didn't. Okay, well, I kind of did, but we'll gloss over that. No, stop doing that. No, stop. Stop. Relaunch. There you go. I gotta click live on every one of them. Well, lightning strikes. Ocean said there's no lightning in Kyiv, so it's not a moon. It's a spaceship. Sorry, Star Wars nerd. Well, it's spaceship. All of a sudden, it's gonna start playing the song. Fucking. lightsabers and shit like that. We are from the intergalactical space civilization. We have come to aid Ukraine with the latest of our technology. It can literally wipe out a whole enemy in 1 second. Look, there you go. We're done with the war. We're gonna go home now. You guys have a good time. Enjoy peace. We love to create peace. We create peace all over. Here's a lightsaber. Have fun. Here's a list of our technologies. Here's a lightsaber. We love it all. Don't invade us. You know, we give you all this cool stuff. Don't invade us. Gonna be like Independence Day. You guys know that movie? Such a great, literally a great movie. Even the aliens hate Russians. It's like, we've come to aid Ukraine. Here is $3 trillion. It's literally nothing to us. We're rich as hell. We've come to aid you in all kinds of technology. Here's your technology. Now you defeat Ukraine. No, sorry. Now you defeat Russia. And you will now be the most powerful planet on Earth. Russia will be gone. Defeat China. Do it now. Independence Day, I saw the first one and I saw the second one, and I gotta be honest with you, I kind of threw up when I was watching the second one. And take the orcs away to kind of do studies on them, put a probe up their ass, ask, does this feel nice? You're pain in everybody else's ass. Now we're gonna make your now we're gonna put pain in your ass. And look at that. Your pain is everybody's ass. Now we're gonna make. Oh shit! That was a big one. That was a big one. You heard that? A big explosion right there, and somewhere. Don't know what that was. I didn't even see it. Probably somewhere near the front line. Boom! Oh, I'm scrolling on Twitter and it relaunches backwards. Yeah, the first one was pretty good. But I gotta be honest with you, you know. The second one, you know, there's a reason it didn't become so, you know, popular. It wasn't. Well, it sucked. Let's be honest. It wasn't that good. You know. Yeah, I agree, Ocean. The second movie, it was bad. It was a franchise, and they had this massively important movie that they made last time. It was such a great movie. There's actors that was in it. You know, it was a great movie. And then all of a sudden they fuck it up with the second one. Oh, more explosions that I'm talking about it here. Yeah, we got more explosions. It didn't make sense, the second one. That's the last thing I'm gonna say. It just didn't make sense. It was so corny, Disney Channel. It looked like a Disney Channel version of Independence Day, you know. This volcano down here is popping off. I mean, it is getting serious. It's getting their ass handed right now. Or maybe Russians are getting their ass handed right now. It would be nice if they took the Russians and then took them up to their spaceship and researched them. And the Russian asked, the Russian's gonna ask the alien, why are you researching us? And the Russians are gonna say, and the aliens are gonna say, we want to know what makes you such an asshole. Oh, really? Okay. Joel, you some kind of genius? I mean, seriously, the way you think, the way you say things, the way I got to tell you, man, you have a way with words. Not only do you have a way with words, but you have a way with your mind, thinking about things. Didn't really occur to me the whole lighting. Later on, it occurred to me that was light. Holy shit, is that people? Oh my, I didn't even think it was so big, right? So I was like, oh, this is not so big. That's people. That is people. I didn't even see that. Look how big that fucking is. I didn't think that was so big. But look at that. That's people. That is people right there. That is massive. That's massive. Look at that. They're ants. Look at that. That's people. You did work for Microsoft for 10 years? Oh, I'm sorry. That was a joke right there. That was a great joke. Look at that. That's people, man. Oh my god, this is huge. I didn't think it was that big. Alright, Ocean. Yeah, look at that. Wait, some fucking idiot just stood in front of the camera. Seriously, you're standing in front of the camera, you fuck. Move out the way. Move out the way, you idiot. Are you serious? Thank you. But look at that. Are you fucking kidding? Alright, sorry. Damn, look at that. That's people right there. Holy shit, that's so massive. I didn't... People walking in front of the camera. Look at that. I thought it was way smaller. I don't know, I just thought it was way, way smaller. I don't know why I thought that. But it's huge. Look at that, that's people. Yeah, there's someone's ass right there in the front of the screen. That's huge. I didn't think it was that big though, because look at comparison to people. That's crazy. It's aliens. It is aliens. You have a cobalt patterns? Alright. What kind of patterns you got, Joel? What did you invent something? What do you make? Because Microsoft, I'll be honest, you know, it's gotten better with the years, but it started out. Actually, I would say that the Microsoft systems back in the day was more. Yeah, I don't even know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to build smart traps. I mean, look at that. Are you fucking kidding me? Get out the fucking way. Seriously? You don't see a camera? You don't see the camera? Oh. Tell him to bend over. Bend over! Hey, bend over. We want to see. Look at what the fuck is that? Oh my god. Seriously? Oh. There we go. No, he's walking back in front of the camera. What is he doing? What is he doing? He's walking back in front of the camera. Running. What are they doing? Are they running? They're walking back and forth with the camera right there. What the fuck? Oh, somebody knows the stream is on. Oh, really? Get out the way. Get out the way. Come on. Get your fucking face. You don't have to face in a fucking camera. Oh, she knows the stream is there. She just says she definitely knows it. Look, she definitely knows that the stream is there. Look at that. Oh, you asshole. You do that. Come in there. You know the stream was there. You knew it. Yeah, look at that. They knew it. They know it. They're just standing in front of the camera. Oh, well, how annoying is that? Come on. Get out the way of the cameras, guys. Are you serious? It's the only place we can actually watch this. We don't all have money. Are you serious? This fucking lady right here thinks she's funny now. I mean, sorry, it was funny when you did the first time, lady. You know. Now it's just annoying. You know. They're doing it on purpose. She's doing it on purpose right now. She's actually being annoying. Because now we can't see those fire because those people keep walking in front of it. Probably be better tonight when there's no people there. And the camera froze now. How fucking great is that? I mean, There we go. Yeah, we're back up. Fucking people just walking in front of the camera. I wonder what the live chat is saying. Starting to get motion signals from whoever is goofing off in front of the camera. God damn it. Look at that. Oh, she's gone now. She's gone. I mean, at a certain point, it's funny as much as you're like, oh, it's funny to start with, but when you keep going, right? It's like ha 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 ha. You know, it's not that much. It's just really not that funny anymore. Look at that. That's Searchlight, which is what we're calling it now. At least the drone guidance assistance searchlight rocket, whatever the fuck it is. It's out of the camera view now. So it started on the ground and is now out of the camera view. How great is that? What a weird night. What a weird night. I gotta tell you that much. It was a weird night tonight. That explosion that we heard, that we heard the sound wave off from Donetsk to fucking we heard that sound wave from fucking Kiev and Donetsk, and we heard that was a huge explosion. Or it could have been very conveniently something else, but it was something. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another stream tonight. For being an outstanding, useful idiot. What's this say? Something about explosions. No translation on it. Damn it. Oh, it all froze now. Oh, it all just. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I have a lot of streams up, so that's probably why. I have a lot of streams, but I have a lot of. I am live streaming, plus I have 3 streams up. It's not really. Not doing my computer so great right now. Holy shit! Now I think the whole thing is just gawking off right now. Come on. Come on, don't do that. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Oh, there we go. Explosions registered in Kiev. This is just talking about explosions registered in Kiev and in other regions. Alone tonight, which is what we've been looking at. I didn't do that. I didn't click on you to go up there, did I? God damn it. There we go. All right. This is the kind of medal I'm gonna be giving pro-Russian people. Your reward for being an outstanding, useful idiot. It's like, it's funny because when you study, your reward for being an outstanding, and then we got a medal, and then useful idiot. I mean, that light, you gotta. That's hilarious. Come on, it's hilarious. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. Come on, it's hilarious. Come on. Oh boy. Now, looks to be calming down here in Kiev tonight. or it's been a busy night, and it's certainly not calming down in the sense you would want it to. It's certainly going Mad Max in the background here, you know. But my PC is having a bad time right now. So I think I'm gonna end the stream here. It's been about 3 hours now. If you want to hear about me talking about some news about our melting ice and how people still think that the climate change problem is not a problem, you know, can we in beach party? Oh yeah. Oh, why do we But listen, I'm not saying that climate change, but other people keep saying to me that climate change is not real. Global warming might not be the realest thing, but climate changing, well, sorry, no, you know, climate change in a sense is very real. And we have a lot of ice that's been melting, a record high ice that's melted along on the Arctic, in the poles right there, you know. And that sunlight that usually is reflected, but 90% of sunlight that's it does get reflected by ice. So you know, if 90% of the ice reflects that sunlight, if we don't have the ice, then more heat will get absorbed by the Earth, accelerating that you know, heat absorbance, literally pushing our planet into a reverse engineering, which means that cold becomes warm and warm becomes cold, you know. Areas that usually isn't covered by ice could become covered by ice because of the changing rivers and our changing climate. So this is a serious problem. You know, sitting here, I don't have a time. I don't have a when this could occur. But in 2023 alone, and I had the image of it alone up earlier. If you want to check out my Twitter, I uploaded it earlier today. We have an image of what exactly I'm talking about. Maybe I can get it up here again real quick, just real fast. Because here you go. This is in Danish, by the way, so you can't read it, but what this says right here is, because when you go into it, the first headline of it, and this is from the biggest news media in Denmark, says this shouldn't be able to happen. The South Ocean's ice has hit a new rock bottom, and that's the image right there. Look at that. 2023, rock bottom. You know, it is winter and on the Antarctic, and the ocean should be actually spreading, as they're talking about. The ice should be spreading, but it's not happening, and scientists are pretty baffled about it, and they're wondering about it. So areas on the size of countries are melting away. So, you know, methane, yeah, exact. But you know, as well as that, this is upon anything else. So we can have a lot of streams of Lee talking about a grand solo minimum. To me, this is a much larger problem that could affect our planet in a catastrophic way. If you haven't watched the movie The Day After Tomorrow, it will prove to you what exactly I'm talking about. Reverse engineering our planet, turning some places into the Ice Age and turning other places into the Amazon forest. Places that become cold become hot, you know? Places that are hot become cold, and places that are cold become hot. And that is our concerns at the moment, and but we're going to continue to monitor it, of course. And if anything does occur or happen, we will be the first to know. What exactly is going on in Kyiv? What the fuck is that?
What is that?
What is that? Is that smoke? Look at that. There's Kiev right there. Is that black smoke back there? Something very large. Look at that. That's the city over there, right? This is the city. The fuck is that? Look at that. That smoke? 1 second. I'm gonna leave. I was about to leave, but what is that? Look at that. Looks pretty, look like a black smoke of sorts. There's some lights going on back there. Some sort of black smoke happening back there. There's a lot of stuff happening in Kiev tonight. Almost makes me want to not leave. If you want to get updates, I'll keep an eye on it for now. But if you want to get an update, do go to the link in the channel, check out my Twitter, and I will keep you updated on it. We're gonna one last spin around here. One last spin around here. I'm gonna check. Well, I want to check what's going on. So the searchlight is gone, apparently. But now we have one massive, whatever the fuck that is. Look at that. Some kind of black line. It's not camera because it's not there. Some kind of weird black line in the middle of the screen. It's not the camera. And a massive bloom of fucking fire. Or black smoke in the sky. You can't tell me that's searchlight. What is that? What is that? Is that just a massive fire? What happened? Look, it came all of a sudden. Here we are. We have this weird light in the sky, and we have, oh, in the background there, the white. Okay, so the black smoke's been there for a while actually, because you kind of see it in the background there. Probably the drones. Okay, so this one's moved actually. It's moved from being all the way over there to now being over here. So it probably is that searchlight, but we got the black smoke here. Turn around one more time. It's still there. Still there. It's disappearing into the sky, which is the weird part here. Look at that. Kind of disappears into the sky. Look at that. Completely, almost completely gone. It's right there. So we reveal this big black sort of smoke screen in the background there. But the weird thing is, that looks like a big ass fire, right? Big ass black smoke. But what is that? This is just one big line of smoke going in up to the sky. Massive attacks here in Kiev Oblast tonight. It is not a quiet night. We heard big explosions earlier. Could have been that. Dogs going off right there. I'm gonna do one last turn. I'm gonna leave, but I just want to see what the hell's going on back here. Anybody who's still here, you can agree with me that this is a weird thing that's going on here in the background here. Lots of light going on in the background. I don't really know what that is at all. Oh, we have explosions going on here in Chechnya region right there. Yeah. Holy moly. Holy moly. Holy moly. You guys want me to leave this stream up for you guys? I can leave these live cams up for you so you don't miss anything. You guys want to do that? I can do that for you. Is there anybody who would be interested in having these left up for your sake so you can keep up? Could just end it. Yeah, I'm gonna end it. You want to go check these live streams out so you don't miss anything, go to same wavelength. He's streaming right. This is live 24/7. Same with TVL. He's also live right now. This is streams that we're looking at. Links are in the description. You want to go check those out. Have a good night. I'm going to be out of here now. Weird stuff all over the country right now. Weird night. Weird stuff. Shots as we're signing off right there. Sound like some kind of shot in the background. Probably Donetsk. Have a good night. And